Poor Lincoln Riley. Anytime he's going up against Georgia and Kirby Smart, I wonder if he has flashbacks in his head of what happened in the Rose Bowl when Georgia knocked off the Sooners back when he was the coach of Oklahoma at the Rose Bowl. Obviously, Sony Michel taking that ball in. And every single time this happens, it makes me think of that moment for Sony, Georgia, Kirby, etc. Today, another beating for Lincoln Riley from Kirby Smart. This time, Dominic Kelly from IMG in Florida. He picked SC earlier this year, but has decided to play for the Dogs. This is a 2026 commitment. You're seeing, Georgia really get a firm grasp of this 2026 class. Georgia, Kirby, and the Dogs getting off to a big start in 26, but it goes back to, how many times lately have we seen SC have a guy committed to them and Georgia come in and grab them? This is a guy that's at IMG, so this is a little bit maybe worse of a sting than some of the guys from Georgia that have picked SC, done the whole routine out there, and then in terms of being committed and then coming back to play or pick the Dogs. We are moments away. We are not that far away from Georgia starting fall camp. And, so the recruiting calendar's changed. And right now is a great example of it. This is the second commitment today for Georgia. And what used to be, August sometimes was a busy period, but it's become increasingly busy as time goes on. The way the calendar is flipped in recruiting has been, noticeable, I guess you could say. But today, for Georgia, if you're SC and you watch Georgia flip a guy from, your commitment list and then, get a guy from a private school in California in a 2025 class, I just don't know. I know that the previous commit, Jamal Hayne, was not from California originally, but he's certainly there now. It's just tough for SC. And earlier today, Ryan and I were recording videos talking about what the future would be for a lot of these programs, and this is how futures are made. Days like today, for the record. You build. Georgia is always, Kirby Smart's Georgia is always going to start and build its foundational pieces with recruiting. If you are doing it any other way in college football or collegiate sports, generally speaking, that's not, I guess, basketball, you're doing it wrong. Because in that scenario, unlike the portal, you're getting to know kids pretty well. They're coming on visits. You can interact with them more than in the portal situation. You recruit them longer, really. So, like, for instance, today with the kid from IMG committing to Georgia, he doesn't sign until 26. It's the summer of 24. We're talking 18 months before he can be on campus. So you have 18 months of whether he sticks around or not. You have 18 months to get to know him and figure out what's going on with him and so forth. It's a better way to build. It's a better way to build stability in your program. And then if you don't, if you're not a giant fan of what you've got any particular year, you go get De'Aaron Kendrick or, ETN or whatever. Like, you get pieces to puzzles, but the puzzle itself has to be your players, guys that you have, guys that you've recruited and signed, and then you have to develop them. But, for USC, there's a lot of glitz and glamour at SC. It is one of the all-time best programs in college football. It's hard to erase the 1960s at SC. It's hard to erase the 2000s at SC. It's been a long time since SC's mattered. It's been a long time since SC's mattered. It's not been that long since Georgia's mattered. And, all you have to do is, look around and see who's got national championship trophies in the last 10 years, and it's not USC. Why? Instability at at coach. There's all sorts of things. Hey, by the way, make sure you're checking out our newsletter. The link is directly down below. I'm going to put it on the screen, how you get to it in a second here. Let's just say you're moseying on over to Dawg Post. The screen, the link down below is directly to it, or you can see this logo right here, this message right here. You click on that, and it takes it to you, and it will sign you right up on this page. So if you see Kirby, that's Kirby from 2017. You sign up down below. You get everything in your mailbox for free. Doesn't cost you anything. You can read stories that it's hard for us to promote all the stories. Like this is a huge story right here. We haven't put it out in the newsletter as the main thing yet, but you'll get this in your mailbox and you'll be able to read this very long story about Carson Beck, the 2020 and from his journey from 2020 till today. So he told me about Carson was talking to me about the game at Auburn, how that was so important, and why he didn't transfer. He gave some more details on that. So make sure you're getting sign up for the newsletter. For Georgia, it's not on the screen. That's fine. Well, anyway, check that out. Sign up today. But for in this case, Georgia, Lincoln Riley is going to have a hard time. Everybody's going to have a hard time recruiting against Kirby. And think about how far Georgia's come since that play. I'll put it back on the screen. I had to switch cameras, so I'll tell the story again. I was in the end zone, Georgia sideline, and I did not know the play was coming to me. How could you? But it was. I haven't put it on the screen yet. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. Let's do that again. Sony got the ball. I couldn't see that. I saw him bouncing it to the outside. Here he is with Mecole, celebrating the win in front of the Redcoats. Here he is. This is Wes's shot from across. This is a remote camera that we got capturing everybody spilling onto the field. But I had to switch cameras, obviously. Alden Bynum right there. Alden Bynum. Nick Chubb, Alden Bynum. If you had Nick Chubb and Alden Bynum being on Georgia's game-winning Rose Bowl game, even earlier that season, on your bingo card, you hit the jackpot. But let me tell you this about Alden Bynum. Here's the thing that's so important about this. People say, well, Alden Bynum, he never did anything at Georgia. Whoa. I mean, he was on the biggest play in Georgia history until Keely Ringo rolled around, and maybe the third biggest. And that it goes to show how good Kirby and them are at using what they've got. Alden Bynum was signed by Mark Richt in the 14 class or 13, and he left California with a Rose Bowl win, and he was on the field for that play because he was wearing number 42. They were going to use every single thing in the kitchen pantry, and that involved Alden Bynum. It's not an insult to Alden. This is a good thing, okay? It's praise for him, but even more so for Kirby and his staff for saying we got to use this guy. We're not just going to let him chill out this last season, and that's exactly what happened. And I just wonder in the background back there, you can't see a clear shot of OU, but what Lincoln Riley's thinking. At this moment, this is the shot to me that's better. But this is this play. I mean, Jake Fromm did all he could to get in front of those guys, and then they ran right into us. And there's Alden right there, Montgilliard, Jake, Mecole, Nick Chubb. You cannot see Sony. I wonder where that ball is. But that was quite a moment, and this is a great image from Dylan Weber. Dawg Posts, we really do. Imagery matters to us, and you can see that in some of these photos. But that was a huge moment in Georgia history. And, for Lincoln Riley, I wonder every time, because this happened a lot lately, if he just gets aggravated that Kirby has had the sort of success recruiting against him, or does Lincoln Riley view it as, well, I'm going up against the big dog. And I'm losing, but I'm finishing second. I mean, honestly, that's not the end of the world, because sometimes the big dog doesn't want who you want. And the big dog could be wrong. Okay? You could be right. Lincoln Riley got Caleb Williams over Kirby, that's for sure, and he was a heck of a player. I mean, that was a Brock Vandergrift, Caleb Williams situation, if my memory serves correct. So, um, or Caleb Williams, somebody, and Caleb Williams was definitely the hotter prospect of everybody that Georgia signed from that point forward. So, Lincoln, not without getting the job done in many ways, but another commitment flipping to Georgia from SC, another kid being committed to SC and eventually winding up at Georgia. Thanks for watching.